Welcome back, everyone. In today's episode in the First Impression series, we're going to be taking a look at the Strider SMF. This is a hybrid with a gunner grip front scale. And I did just want to go through how amazing the package is. They give you a plastic bag where the knife is in, and then put it inside of a bubble wrap. All right, yeah, so I'm being a little sarcastic. This was called out by CNY Knife Nut, and I just kind of wanted to put that out there. Um, Actually, someone else commented about how they love watching videos that they start off talking about the packaging. So I read that as a bit sarcastic, but you know, I switched it up here and there. I just felt like the packaging for this one was worthy of being called out. All right, so I have the SNG, and I've always wanted to check out SMF, and I picked this up from Strider Knives. Well, I'm not sure what his website name. I'll post it in the description so you can check it out yourself. But I got it directly from Strider. The drop was actually fairly easy. As soon as it popped, it dropped right about when he said he would, or actually Marissa Strider? Yeah, Marissa Strider was the one that said when it would drop. But it was on, you can check out Instagram, and they usually announce drops on there. But anywho, this is 800 before tax and shipping. So I ended up paying like 884 afterwards. Being in California, they're in the ocean side, so I don't believe they'll charge tax if you're outside California. At least that's how I'm familiar with how e-com works, depending on the size of your business. All right, so I know I'm going on a tangent right now, but yeah, again, 800 before tax and shipping, and it's a big knife. It allows you to get that grip even before the choil. For the SNG, I'll make a comparison video later, but for the SNG, before the choil, you're looking like this on the grip. Um, but this one, it does afford you a full four-finger grip, lots of knife left over actually, and you can't choke up. So it's a very solid lockup. Um, yeah, you can hear that lock stick, I bet. And so even with the SNG, there is a lot of lock stick on Strider knives. I've only handled 3, so this is my third one. 2 SNGs and this one SMF, but every one I've had, the lock stick is real, and you hear about in this knife industry about knives with lock stick. I mean, I've compared the lock stick on any other knife I've handled. This one takes the cake. But it depends, right? If you do a nice slow roll open, very minimal, if at all. But as soon as you middle finger flick it out, yeah, you'll hear it. Yeah. So I've actually, looks like they might have carbonized it. I think that's the right term for it, right? It's, they don't have a lock bar insert, which is what helps with lock stick nowadays. I mean, they've been doing that for a while. But Strider knives has the steel contact the titanium directly. So from my experience, that's typically on frame locks. That's where you're getting that lock stick. Having that steel, well, that might be part of the reason, but another reason why they have lock bar inserts is that it doesn't wear out the titanium because steel is a harder material than the titanium. And so if you don't have a lock bar insert, throughout time, this will continue to go over. But I mean, this is like multiple lifetimes. So it's not something I think anyone should really worry about. But it does help alleviate with the lock stick, which, yeah, you can hear that. There's a lot on this one. I do like the patterns. The first time handling the gunner grip pattern on their scales. So it's a very nice texturing. Gives you a lot of grip. And you can hear that, right? Like if I'm opening it slow, locks in. As soon as I grip down, you hear that squeeze in. So that's just a lock bar being pressed in more. It is a very solid lockup though. Actually, just a hint of blade play. I can hear it move just so slight, ever so slightly. You can feel it. This has a 3/4 inch grind. So let's have a nice hollow grind right here. This wedge is flattened out. Let's have jimping all up and down, all the way through, another 1/4 into the knife, a 1/3 into the knife, blade, I mean. The jimp, it's effective. Once you get up here, it doesn't rip up your thumb or anything. It's so I wouldn't call it aggressive, but it is useful. Pocket clip. So recently I've gotten jeans that the seam is almost doubled up, so it's very thick when in my pockets. This knife does not clip very well. It'll go in easily. As soon as I try to take it out, that double seam gets locked right here into the lock bar relief. What is this? So it gets stuck there. So just something to keep in mind. If you have thick liner on your pockets, it's you might experience that. It's got good retention though. It's not very stiff. It's got your lock bar stabilizer right there. You can see Strider's logo. This is in Magnacut, which is, I want to say, fairly new. I've only seen most of their knives in 3V, or I think the first one they came out with, it's PS, is it the PD1 they were using, and 20 CV is common. My SMG is in 20 CV, but I haven't seen too many of the Magnacut Steel options for their models yet until recently. Did a good job. This is pretty flush. You can maybe feel a little bit of a step towards the back right here. But everything else looks to be pretty lined up. Centering on this one slightly favors the lock side. And there is a specialized tool for this particular model. From how I understand it, the performance models have torque screws. I haven't handled one, so I can't really confidently speak on that, but that's what it appears to be. I mean, you can use a Torx right here, but you'll need to hold these 2 pins in place so it doesn't rotate the free spin. I'm liking it so far. It's I've always wanted to try an SMF just because I like larger knives. But if I was to say ergonomics, if you're in a saber grip, like so, not using the choil, this portion of the clip will provide some pressure. You will feel that. And not only that, this portion, the butt of the knife, you'll feel it dig in a little bit as well. Not a deal breaker in my opinion. It's I wouldn't call it subtle, but it's right one level above subtle. And if you choke up, I wouldn't say it gets any better. You alleviate this portion of digging into your palm, but this part continues to apply pressure. It's part of the clip. And I'll see how it goes. I'll put this to use and give it more time, see how I really like it. Striders do tend to have a pretty decent resale value, so I think it gives people the opportunity to use one up and not take too much of a loss on the secondary market. A buddy of mine, Boston Blade Works, he advised using graphite, which came from pencil lead, and just kind of run it through the tang of the blade right there. I tried it on my SMG and it helped out a lot. And so we'll probably need to do it with this one. But yeah, let me know what you think about Striders and specifically the SMF model. I know there's controversy about Strider in the past. I want to be able to check out the knives themselves. I mean, if I think $800 is very pricey. I think you should be able to knock out at least the lock stick. But and I'm also not a fan of unique pivot tools to take apart a knife. But with all that said, I still went and got one. So I don't know what that tells us about my decision making. And yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let me know in the comments. I'll drop whatever resources I can in the description as usual. So take a look through that if you're interested. And really appreciate your time. And as always, stay frosty.